So you have to sell Git on the merits of what it's going to give you as a developer. From a manager's perspective, you guys use it and you just do your thing, right? So from a management perspective, it's not a whole lot. If you're using GitHub, then GitHub gives you a lot of really nice things like a graph that will show you how many lines each person has changed. So you can kind of get an overview of what projects each individual is working on and to what extent, which from a manager's perspective is really nice to just kind of keep track of what projects different people are working on and to what extent. That would be one of the main things that a manager would like. And just the ability to, with GitHub, it's built on kind of a social network type idea. So your manager with GitHub could go in and he can watch the different projects, and then he gets notifications on any of them whenever they change in his event feed, and he can sign up to read those via RSS, or you can have those sent via email or whatnot. So for him to be able to just keep track of what's going on, with GitHub, it makes it really easy. With Git itself, it's probably not going to be much different than Subversion is. But what the big differences are, the differences are for you and your team. And the biggest one for me is the branching. Because when you have the ability to very easily spin off a new branch and start development of a feature or a fix or an experiment, if you have permission to do that very easily and make commits and push them up where other people can easily see them and talk about them without having to put them on the main development branch. Because do you guys just do all commits just go directly to the trunk in your group? See, that's a really bad paradigm, because then everyone's afraid to put stuff there until it's absolutely done, which means they end up with 2 or 3 weeks worth of work on their computer that all ends up as one giant commit to the main repository, because they don't want to push something that's going to break the build, right? You never want to break the build. You never want your trunk to be something that doesn't work. And so in that case, it's dangerous, because now your developers have a ton of work unsaved sitting on their local computers. If that local computer crashes, if there's a hard drive problem or something, it's not backed up, that work is gone forever. But with Git, you can make commits when you want on a branch, push those up so that they're always available, so that you can show them to other people. Because until they're there, you don't have the benefits of being able to send around URLs and stuff and
We are
get the code
using
on them.
CS in another way. We are committing any changes.
We
are committing any changes when they are done. Not in 3 weeks.
You commit them. Do you use like branching and stuff in CBS?
No. We are using tagging.
Tagging?
We make a tag current on the master branch.
Okay.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure creating branch isn't much
It's better.
as tagging.
No, Git and branches are better.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so I mean with branches you can be a lot more flexible in your work style, which gives you more flexibility as a developer to switch between tasks. I mean, how often does someone come in and say, hey, we need a fix over here right now, and you're like, well, my working directory is filled with this stuff, and I can't do anything and I can't commit it right now because it'll break something, and so what do? I can't fix your problem. I have to go and make a completely new checkout and work on it over here. Well, with Git, it's very easy to switch around and work on different stuff. Right? So, in essence, it just makes you a better worker. So from a manager's perspective, it saves you a lot of time, and it gives you a lot more flexibility to work on stuff that needs to be worked on. So for me, my perspective to sell your managers is, tell them that it'll make you a better developer. It'll make you work faster, it'll make you work happier, and you just think it's the right solution. I mean, your managers want you to be a happy, productive developer, right?
Let's hope so.
And the second question. The second our problem is webmasters that don't use Subversion or CVS at all. They just upload files on the servers despite our changes, and that's not very good. Is there any tool for Git that's easy enough to be understood by webmasters?
Windows tool, I guess.
What systems are you using? Are you using Linux or Mac or Windows or what?
Sorry, could you repeat?
What operating system do you use?
Windows.
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 You use Windows? Do you use an IDE? Do you use Eclipse or something else? Or do you just use?
Webmasters use Dreamweaver, as far as I know.
There's something called, there is something called Tortoise Git. It's much like Tortoise SVN that allows you to have stuff just show up within the folder structure. And people can then just drop files in or make their changes, and then they can do a commit via just a right click drop down and say, add and commit this file. So you can do that. You can have people that are not real experts at version control use a very nice Windowsy interface. Same as Tortoise SVN, which I would get if you're using, or Tortoise. Is there a Tortoise CBS?
Both.
If you use that.
Both
Okay.
of them.
So it's similar. It's in a similar vein to that, but that is pretty far along now. I think it's pretty usable. I haven't spent much time in it,
It is usable.
but you can. Okay, so you can use Tortoise Git. It will work.
Okay.
And we are actually working on some better tools, even than that, for Windows developers at some point in the future. So down the road, we'll have some stuff that's specific for GitHub that will make people's lives easier.
Oh.
But tool support is increasing every day for Git. But yeah, there are some tools right now that make it pretty easy.
So you said Eclipse has